Hello guys. Today we will be talking about the new data tables that have been introduced in n8n version, the latest version. So this is the data tables introduced native Python task runner. So we will be talking about the data tables. You can see like there is an introduction directly on the page, and it has been added on 14th of October. So this is the most recent update to this. So this basically helps in a lot of ways. Like previously, you used to use Google Sheets. The most commonly used option was to Google Sheet. You have to update the document like a file structure that is required for adding information, retrieving information, and updating information. So most frequently used thing was Google Sheets, and then if you do not want to do that, like if you're among people like me who gets annoyed by the warnings Google basically sends on to you, saying remove the access for this application every time you visit the security pages. So instead, you used to how you can get it that is altogether replace that with a database. Deploy a local copy of MySQL, and you can administrate that from the PHP MyAdmin. That is basically the administration for the database itself. So you can create a database, create tables, and then you can retrieve columns and tables from there. So let me quickly give you a demo of that. After that, we can see how the data tables are making a difference in that, and how if you are using previously, um, if you are using Google Sheets previously, now you can switch to data stores more easily. So let me give you a quick demo without wasting further time. So we'll generate this trigger, and before that we have to generate the data table. As you can see, I have quite a lot of them, so we can use some of the existing ones, or we can create a new one so that you can get familiar with how to create that. So we'll go to data stores, and if you do not see these options, you have to update your n8n to the latest version. And for doing that, you have to check what sort of deployment you have. If it is a local deployment like me, then you have to manually update it on the server itself. And if you have a cloud version of it, then you might already have that version updated on your server. So let's create a data table, and we will name this table as items. And by default, you will get this ID created at updated at columns. Think of it as a Google sheet or an Excel sheet, for example. So you have to add a column when you have to like add columns the way you do it in Excel. So we will make it as item underscore name, and it will be a string. Then we will add another column item as this will be a number. Then we will say available, and it will be a boolean. And we can do last updated, and we can put a date. Although you already have these default columns, you can use it for last updated, but we want to do it in a way. So now that we have created the items data table, then we will use this in our um, workflow. So we'll search for data tables or tables, and first of all we'll try to insert into that table. And how do we insert that? We'll try to get it from our database. Let's generate a table. Items, number of columns, items, one, two. Basically, we have like three columns. One is true false. This is a dead field, so we have four columns in it. We will end this item name or whatever that we have already given in this table. I'm just directly taking out from here. It connects to the data table and then it gets these values for the columns. Item name, item price is integer. This would be a varchar, so name can go up to let's say 100, and comment allocate item underscore price. This could be like different from your data table. It is purely independent. So we want to put it as a float or integer will work, and then we have available, or you can say item available, and then you can mark that as boolean, and then we have date last updated. This will be, you can set it to date and position by, we can basically add columns here, and we can put something like id, and we can put an integer, and we can mark as a auto increment. I have to check how we can do that. Okay, now let's put in data. Just do one thing. Take a screenshot like this. Open Gemini to a control V. We will ask it to provide us with SQL for adding data. So it's generating this data for us, and we will copy this, go back to our PHP mining, go back to SQL script running, and we have to do this. Then done. Something is wrong in this, so we have to change few things. We will change the table name to the name of the table in database. Insert into items. So something is wrong with the ID. So then go back here, try to edit it, and if you could name the table for once. Okay, so all data is inserted. If we go to browse, we can see all the data. Uh, then getting back to our actual stuff. So let's try to retrieve that data. So if you did not have this option previously, you had to like either connect your Google Sheets or then retrieve the data from there, or you have to set up a database like the ones I'm doing here. So this is must match condition. Like you have to set what sort of if you are looking for a particular row, like let's suppose in case of a username and password, you want to select the user that you are passing into this. So in that case, you will be the previous node will be passing you username and password, and then you will match that with the username in the table, and you will get that, and then you will pass that dynamically. So this will match that condition. If the user is there, then it will match that and get that row. So in our case, we are just trying to fetch all the items, so we do not have any condition, any particular condition. So we'll say return all in this case, or return distinct. If you are going up down a table, you can put something like how much data should be returned. Usually it will be all, and then you will selecting it. Or in particular case, if you are looking for something, then you have to check for an ID and put a condition to get that particular record. Like in case of updating a particular record in the data table, you will have to put an ID or uh, set up some column to recognize that record. And while you are updating that, you have to do like apply that case order. So in this case, let's try to get all the data from here. Mm, and it's getting items in condition get. Not this node again to refresh. So we're getting from items, and there's nothing there. So we'll insert create this here, insert. Okay, before that, let's try to do one thing. We'll get the rows from the database. I'm not supposed to use this. We are supposed to get this select rows from table. So we select our MySQL credentials and then we select the table. Then we'll say return all, match any condition. So we execute this, we can see that we have all the items being returned. So we'll disconnect this. We'll say get all records. Then we'll insert those records inside draw. We will be putting all those item name, item price, is the item available, and then we will put the last updated here. So if we execute this, then it will directly publish all the data to the data table. So now if we see we want to get the tables that we push to this, and we want to read from it. So here it is, all of the data inserted into the. It's that easy. Like previously, now you do not need this part. Like when you have to manipulate the data, you can directly do it on your own. So you will get data, push it to a table, and then you can get the data from the table. And apart from that, these are all the operations that you can perform in a sheet or in a database table. So if you select the table, we have insert, update. You can update an existing record. So let's suppose the item is not available anymore, then you have to recognize, you will get the name and match the condition to get that item, and then you will update the is available to 0. So that data will be updated in that way. In insert rows, you are inserting multiple rows. Um, Delete rows, same as update, but you are deleting data now. You do not want to keep the data anymore. If now exists, if row exists, this is condition based. So this was a short demo of like how you can use the database uh, tables. It's a bit confusing. Like they should just name it tables, data tables. So database tables are different. Data tables are sort of different in a way. So this makes a lot of keys to automation when you have to store values and then retrieve them later on. And like if you have a split in the condition and like it is going over here as well, then some most of the time it will be updating the database table twice, 20 items twice. So in such cases, data tables are a great thing to have and it makes life easy for everyone. Thank you for watching this video, and like and subscribe if you want me to continue this n8n journey, because you might see I do not have too many videos on over here. So thank you guys. Bye.